It is one of India's most prestigious and competitive entrance exams, the JEE Mains 2025, that has landed in a controversy once again. Let's tell you all about it. The National Testing Agency, already under the scanner for past lapses, is facing fresh allegations of serious errors in this year's JEE Mains question paper. Students from Kota, the coaching capital of the country, and across the country have flagged at least 9 flawed questions in various subjects in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Experts aren't dismissing these minor technicalities. Some of these questions are being called factually incorrect and conceptually flawed. And if proven true, needless to say, these mistakes could impact the ranks and futures of lakhs of students who've spent months, even years, preparing for this moment. On the show, we speak to the very people caught in the middle of the storm: students, teachers, and education leaders. What went wrong? Who's going to be accountable? And what does this mean for the credibility of India's examination system? It's time to ask those hard questions, because when the system fails its brightest minds, someone has to come out and answer. Joining me here on this discussion is, of course, students, experts in their respective fields. We've got Nidhi, who's a teacher at IIT-B at Sisya class. Very warm welcome to you. Shrikesh, teacher at IIT-G, again a Sisya class member, is also with us on the broadcast here. And Arka Das, a student at IIT Kharagpur, also joins us on the broadcast. I'm going to quickly go across to the student on the platform with us. Arka, help us understand. You're with IIT Kharagpur, but several of these other questions, thousands of kids, pinning their hopes on the line, looking for those answer results. But now we're learning that there are at least 9 flawed questions. What is it that these students might be expecting now? Years of, hard work, months of training and preparation, suddenly going down the drain. It's not a very moralizing aspect to look at if you're a student.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, like talking about JEE Mains, as we all know, JEE Mains is holding various shifts, and all shifts have different questions of various hardness. And according to some students might feel that their shifts are tougher than that. So NT introduced the percentile system, and according to the percentile system, they are ranking students in order. In some shifts, there will be some questions that are some controversial, and they feel that this answer should not be as is given in NTA. If they feel, they might as you think that flawed questions. I personally did not see the papers, so I don't know what the flawed questions. But there might be some questions that are controversial, so like what
We'll cut
students.
across to Shrikesh, who's a teacher at IIT-G. It's a class who's joining us on the broadcast. A lot of the demands of the students at this point in time is that, either give us compensatory marks or do not evaluate those problematic questions. Now, do you think bonus marks are a fair resolution to this problem, or should these questions be invalidated entirely? Again, these are allegations that are backed by experts and, their various subject teachers, educators. They're not dismissing any of the claims from those quota students. So what should be the next best step forward?
Okay. So what I would like to point out here is in January shift also similar thing happened. In mathematics, if I talk about being an expert in mathematics, there were 2 questions straight away which were wrong. And after that, in total, I think around 12 questions incomplete in January shift were dropped out, and the students were awarded bonus marks for it. So the same thing has been repeated in the April attempt as well. So this is a blunder mistake from the side of NTA, the National Testing Agency. So there should the bonus mark is not a fair resolution, because a lot of students who are working very hard, they see that the other students who are not working that hard, they are also getting the marks for free. So this is not a fair resolution in my regards, in my point of view. The next thing which I would like to point out is what NTA can do is they can rectify stages of review can be done for the questions, and being the sole NTA, the testing agency for the complete country, and they are also saying that one nation, one test. They also removed all the local entrance exams in the state. Earlier, a lot of engineering entrance exams were conducted. A lot of them are not that popular now. The only exam which the students look forward to is the JEE Mains and the Advanced, which is the roadway and roadmap to all the engineering colleges across the country, and even foreign students they also come and give JEE Mains. So this will have a very serious impact. So only suggestion which I would like to give from my side is a set of reviews. More strict reviews should be stipulated, and strict action should be taken on those who were involved in creating such questions. Because in maths, it's a blunder mistake. Yes.
Right. We also have Nidhi, teacher IIT B. It's a class. Nidhi, I'm going to take the same question to you. What kind of audits do we need before these examinations are actually conducted? This is not the first time this has happened. We'll run that graphic with the NTA's past lapses as well. And this is not about NTA bashing, but there needs to be some sort of trust between what is being taught and what is the actual learning outcome. It can't be students running after examinations one after the other. What do you think needs to happen? Because with NEET, CUET, we've seen it with JEE Mains now. Should the NTA now undergo, some sort of reform? What do you suggest?
Yes, reform should be there. They should look for the correct answer key first of all before uploading it online and telling it to the kids. And in addition to that, they should get feedback from the educators and students likewise, because from the past few years, everyone is suggesting there should be some change in the examination review process itself. So they should take accountability for that. There should be clear instructions given to the students that these are the reasons why the questions are dropped, and this will not be repeated in the next examination, let's say, because in the February itself there were so many errors. So in the April examination they should have taken proper review of the questions, so that the mistake that they have done in the February, we don't see that again in April itself. So I think they should do some reforms in the review process. They should be transparent regarding why they are dropping questions, what is the reason, what is the idea behind that question, how we can correct it. So they should take accountability for that as well.
All right, accountability that needs to be taken up. We also have a student with us on the panel here. Arka, you're pursuing your career, your dreams at IIT Kharagpur with, JEE, NEET, CUET, these past cases that both the educators here are talking about. I just wanted to know a student's perspective. Are India's top examinations, and these are the topmost examinations, the most sought after ones, are they losing their credibility? And if so, why do we still have so many students that are making a beeline for these examinations? It does seem to be a little bit of a catch-22 here.
Like as you said that the exams are losing their credibility, I am not so sure, but like uh, talking about J Advanced, the questions are as tough as usual, but I like heard like this year J Advanced the cutoff was too high for the students. Like some questions have seemed too easy to them. Like I did not see the questions, but like uh, what can I say? They can be like with years the teaching pattern and everything is like changing, and like their students are undergoing more and more practice divided. So it may seem easy to them or hard to them, it doesn't matter. But regarding the credibility, I cannot say that much. Uh, the JEE Main, the shifts are like when I gave JEE Mains, there were also like these two shifts, like the same pattern is going. But yeah, the question error might increase. That I can say. Like
Okay, so that does seem to be a pattern over here. Shrikesh, I'm going to take this next question to you. The student here definitely says that there is a pattern that one can actually look at. 12 questions that were dropped in JEE 2025. That seems to be a new low in itself as well. But you know what's the most troubling factor? Even if it's a VIP car convoy that's passing through, when there's a traffic jam, somebody misses their examinations, a hue and cry over that as well. Sometimes the railway network, there's some problem, people can't make it to their examination centers in time. And there's always help from the government, from the authorities as well. But at the end, the bottom line is that the student has to pay. And on the student's shoulders, more times than not, there's a lot more families' aspirations and dreams that are also heaped on to the students. Where's the oversight here? I mean, I know I'm asking a philosophical question. Nothing's going to change overnight, but where will this oversight come from? Students' dreams and our examinations, the top ones, losing their credibility.
Yeah. So, as I clearly stated, the nation, they want to move towards one nation, one exam. If that's the vision, then the student is something who needs to be taken into account. And the papers which we set, the NTA, that's the agency which sets the paper for all the students across the, not only one exam, they also set for other exams as well. If one exam is under question, what about the other exams, other examinations which they conduct as well? So JEE Mains and advanced, a lot of questions, there were blunder mistakes, simple questions, right? A part where you need to put one number here and there, they are not thinking on that. They can be reviewed, specific ways of review. Now, I would like to bring this perspective in as well because I have reiterated that the questions have been wrong and this needs to be reviewed as well as also our panel members, Nidhi ma'am, and our student, our Arpa has also told about the same. Now, I'd like to reiterate, now I'd like to tell about the student perspective here. Now, a student who's preparing very hard, a lot of students take drop as well. They undergo a lot of stress, family pressure, relative pressure. What are you doing? You have gone through 12th. Are you there in your college yet? They do not even pick up the calls. A lot of students I know, they do not even use smartphones. They use keypad phones. This is the level of stress they are going through. And over that, if you add this major flaw from the testing agency right away, which is a blunder mistake, the questions itself are wrong. Now they think that the questions are wrong, let's give bonus marks to everyone. But can they imagine the level of stress again the student has to go through after seeing these mistakes? It is very high. So this needs to be taken into account. Accountability is
We
number
hear
one
you.
thing. Reviews need to be taken, and national testing agencies should come forward and accept this blunder. Not only releasing that these questions have been awarded bonuses. Then what are the steps so that the next time the same thing will not be repeated?
Yeah,
That
you're
should be
absolutely
taken.
right. I mean, how many times will grace marks be, the solution? We need systemic reforms, and that's what our students actually deserve. Nidhi, I'm going to come to you next. Let's also talk about some of those flawed questions that were actually highlighted. And you can probably help the viewers understand how blasphemous these mistakes actually are. Are these minor mistakes, or are these actually, conceptually flawed right at these questions' core? Now, what's wrong with the questions is that hydrogen-like ions, the atomic number is wrongly listed as 2. It should be 3. The other example that people are talking about is, of course, the current electricity section, wherein the answer key lists the answer as 125 MA, milliampere. You can correct me if I'm wrong here. And the actual answer is 5 milliampere. And of course, equivalent resistance, a question on that as well. There seems to be no correct option provided in that question. How blasphemous are these flaws when the paper is being set?
See, there are multiple wrong questions in different subjects, including physics, chemistry, and maths also. So we cannot comment about exactly what is wrong with them. There is some conceptual mistake for sure. And sometimes the question is asked from a certain part of the syllabus, but the explanation is completely different from what we expect. So overall, the student will feel that I have attempted this question and this is how it should be answered based on NCRT and the content that we have read. But when we see the answer key, something different we see there. So whether the question is wrong factually or conceptually, they are not giving any explanation for that also. For example, in the February examination as well, they have just dropped the questions altogether. There was no explanation provided that this was wrong in the question, and next time you have to attempt the question differently or some other explanation so that students' trust will be there in the process of NTA. But they just drop the questions altogether from the subjects. They don't give any explanation. They don't empower these students with the knowledge also that this was the wrong thing, you should have attempted it like this. So I think they should focus more on how to tell the students, prevent them from misinformation also, because sometimes they think the question is wrong, but factually and conceptually it comes out to be correct in the final answer key also. So
All
there's a
right.
lot of misinformation with the questions also. So they should give clear instructions to the students. They should tell them in the beginning itself that we are working on these many questions and we will provide the correct answer key or something like that. So
All
I
right. All
feel they
right. We
help
hear
the
you,
students
and
in.
there seems to be, some positive response in defense of the NTA as well. Many thanks, Nidhi, for that. Shikesh, we're completely running out of time. One final question to you. You helped us understand the psychological aspect of what the student goes through, but you're an educator. From your own point of view, your trust that you might have placed in India's, testing ability, the National Testing Agency, has that gone down? Has this controversy affected your trust in the NTA?
I would say yes. If you ask me a simple question, it's I will not be diplomatic. The answer is pure yes. Being an educator, being a mathematician, rationality is something which I abide by, and the simple answer is yes. And I will elaborate that as well. This has not happened once. This has happened twice, and earlier also some questions were controversial, which can have more than one answer. Some functions which are differentiable at a point. I'll not get into the details so that all of the viewers are watching. I'll only put it in this way that a lot of questions have gone wrong. NTA should come up, take the accountability, and tell that these are the questions which are wrong, and these are the specific reasons why they went wrong. Next time it will not happen. These are the steps which we are taking. Because it puts a huge amount of pressure on the students as well as their parents and all the guardians who are involved in this process. So this is what I'd like to conclude at the end.
No, you're absolutely right. We hear you. And many thanks to all the three panelists who've joined us, Nidhi, Shrikesh, and the student on the panel, Arka Das. He's pursuing his dreams at IIT Kharagpur. Many thanks for taking out the time, because as the future of lakhs of these aspirants, it hangs in the balance. The question isn't just about grace marks or dropped questions. It's about restoring faith in a system that promises merit but is riddled with mistakes. The National Testing Agency holds the key to some of India's most competitive dreams. But who holds the NT accountable? Until there's transparency, accountability, and reform, students will continue to bear the burden of official errors. The debate will certainly not end here.